Hey guys, this is Jimmy of Jimmy Shaw's Tidbits, and I'm here today with
The 3D printing professor.
How you doing, my friend?
Oh, Jimmy, it's good to have you here, man. Welcome to Southern Utah. What do you think?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So it's awesome to have you down here. And where have you been? What have you been up to?
I went to Grand Junction, Colorado.
Yeah. And now, when did you meet Calvin? When did you get to do this?
That was actually at Maker Faire this year for Bay Area Maker Faire. It was about a few days before. He's like, "Hey, you printed your mount for your Tascam, but you did it in PLA." I'm like, "Yeah." He says, "Let me do you one in I believe that's nylon."
Yeah.
And he did a great job on it.
Really flexible. That's it. I've never printed with nylon before, so that's very cool to me.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was surprised too. And like you're saying, it looked like it was printed without supports, which I just figured you use supports.
No, and you can tell the difference between supports and no supports, and that's very clearly. He just trusted the overhang, and sometimes that works. I would have maybe said a bit more fan or a bit more top layers.
So I've got to ask you, on a scale from A to F, what would you give that?
As far as a print goes, that's as a professor, boy, I'd scold him for it, but I'd give him a C in the end,
Sorry, Calvin, I had to do that.
Yeah, no, it's serviceable. It works. It doesn't. Well, but how many 3D prints do we do?
Yeah.
That you just go, mind you, 3D printing is better than traditional manufacturing because you can go, okay, that didn't work. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, but at some point you go, that's good enough.
That's exactly right. That's how I am. It's like, that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, unless you're going to be doing, it's nice though. I've worked in environments where they build something and they send it to the shop and they wait 6 weeks and then they get it back and they go, well, we want to change something on here, but it's going to take us 6 weeks to change it. Let's just fudge it and go with this. And then they get a 3D printer and they spend like 6 weeks making 12 iterations on a design because they can now, Yeah. It's so cool, man. That's what I love about it.
It goes back to the old saying, why do I do it? Because I can.
Because I can. Yeah, and this actually caused a problem. I don't think I've ever told this story on my channel. So I was working at a company, and we were building. Obviously I can't talk much about the company or what I was doing, things like that. But to be vague, we were building a machine that it was the next iteration of the machine that we were working on, and they were going to go to a trade show. And so our engineers mocked up. They wanted to be able to have a feed mechanism like a CD player. Okay. That you push a packet into and it sucks it in. So they got an old CD player. They tore that sucker apart. They figured out how it worked. They figured out how to make it work for their device, and they 3D printed it. And that's what I'm talking about. They spent 6 weeks, made 12 iterations, finally made it work, put it all up with cardboard, and put a tablet in front of it so that it looked like it had a screen on it that you could swipe left and right on. And they went to this trade show.
Oh, wow.
And they were showing it off. The point of the show was to raise money for their idea. And so they're showing people this, and they're like, yeah, put it in, and it comes out, and you can see the UI on here. And their bosses came up. They had just been bought out by this big company. And they were like, what are you doing? And they said, we're showing off the prototype, man. They're like, you're not supposed to have a prototype at this show. This show is to raise money to build the prototype. We raised the money for us to tell you that you can build the prototype. You just skipped like 6 levels of management right there. And I'm going,
oops.
Yeah. I don't feel bad at all,
That's a big oops.
No, well, yeah, they were like, deal with it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be doing this. We can, and we have the tools, and that's why you bought us out in the first place, So.
And that's what makes 3D printing so cool, is the fact that you can do that.
Yes, and that's why I love 3D printing, is that it well, first of all, I love it because it's got such a wide range. I mean, there are people doing jewelry, there are people doing stuff that I don't even care about. But then, yes, you give it to an engineer, and it changes the game.
It does.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
So I got to ask you, how long have you been into YouTube?
So I've been on YouTube since 2012, but my videos back then were really, really rough. Actually, I was on YouTube before that. There's another channel that you could find me on where I'm doing balloon animals.
What?
Well, it's another life.
What's that channel called?
I don't remember. Hold on it's still out there. It's under my email account. It's my old channel, but I can't remember what it is called right now.
When he remembers, I'll put it in the video description. I'll put a card up here.
Oh, they're awful. They're awful videos, and they were made on. I think I've got the webcam back here. It's this crappy webcam, old one. And to get it, I didn't have a mount. I didn't have a tripod for it. I clipped it onto the end of a cup. Put the cup on a shelf. But then the image was upside down, so I flipped it in the software. It was so ghetto, and it looks terrible. But you can find a video of me out there balloon twisting a Millennium Falcon and R2-D2 and stuff like that. Because I was into balloon twisting, and there were people like, how do you do these designs? I'm like, well, I'll just make a video for it. So that was my first experience.
Yeah, I made enchiladas, so.
On YouTube? Well, you share that too, man. If we're going to be bearing our souls. I know. Well, and so then I got into 3D printing, and I made a blog for 3D printing. Right. And then as the blog progressed, I was like, I want to add a couple of videos every once in a while. And those early videos were garbage, but some of them still get views. When I have a video where I'm doing hips experiments and stuff like that. And one of them just every couple of months, somebody puts a new comment on there. It reminds me that people are still watching these old videos. And then things have been getting slowly and steadily better since then.
That is awesome.
I don't recommend watching those old videos, though. They're garbage. Watch the videos. They're so bad. And I didn't have a tie back then, so if I don't have a tie now, though.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I personally, whenever I start watching a YouTube channel, I like to go back and look at the first video so I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, no, we all start in a really rough place, and just a little bit at a time, we improve the system. I mean, you've got a good camera, and you get some good lighting, and you get some good setup, and you figure out how to do things, and you make a lot of mistakes. Like, whenever I do a video and I don't have the sound right, man, people come down on me, and I still don't have great sound in my videos. I haven't got a nice setup for my sound yet.
Your sound is better than it was before, because I got to say, I've noticed a marked improvement in it in the last few months.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You learn and you get better. But I think the real key is some people on YouTube, some of the bigger YouTubers started with a great setup. They sunk a lot of money into it, and they did it right from the beginning. I couldn't do that. And so it's better for me. I wouldn't be doing YouTube videos if I waited for that.
Right.
Just do something. Just get it out there. And if it's garbage, at least it's garbage that you can get some feedback on.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, just like with this, I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have a Tascam back when I got started. This is slowly built into that. And I know exactly where you're coming from as far as you've got to wait until your channel grows to the point where you can afford to do something.
Well, and the thing is, you can afford to make small changes over time instead of a big change all at once.
Exactly.
So let's pull back the curtain for a little bit. You're recording the audio on one device, the video on another device.
Right.
What do you use to put those two together?
I personally use, what's it called? Put me on the spot, man.
Oh, sorry.
It's a CyberLink Power Director 14 is the one I'm using.
Okay, I haven't tried that one. I'm using HitFilm on mine.
Oh, really?
Yes, but as we'll see when we record my video, you get to see that I've got a setup that does this audio and video at the same time. And so on a good day, I could do the whole video in one shot.
Really?
On a good day. It doesn't often happen. And I've got a couple of videos that are one shots that you could see, but I've got some other videos that are almost one shot, where then I take it into post and I do the tail end of it, and I do the intro to it, and I boost the audio. In fact, almost all of them now, I at least take it in and I boost the audio on it.
That's awesome. There's actually times on mine where I either have to either boost the audio or actually fade the audio just a hair, if it's overdriven.
Yeah, and I get it wrong all the time. So many bad videos on my channel where I think now the intro video that I just released a couple of weeks ago on my channel, the audio on that's way too loud because every time I like hit my channel to go edit something and that auto plays, I'm like, turn it down, turn it down.
I've been doing the same thing on my outro. I've been having to take and balance the audio on it.
But maybe that's good for an intro. I don't know. Maybe you want to blast people with an intro. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Why not? We'll see if my channel ever catches up to the 3D printing noobs, you know, meteoric growth. If maybe that was the right choice or the wrong choice.
I don't think any of us are going to catch him.
No. Joe does a great job at what he does. I'm envious of what he's managed to do in such a short time. He's great, but he's one of those who he started with a huge investment up front.
Right, he did.
So you know,
the equipment he started with is just amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know if he had it to begin with or if he sunk a lot of money into it, but he definitely deserves the success that he's got. So,
have you ever met him in person?
I haven't yet. No, I haven't met a lot of people. In fact, I think you're like the first person I've met in person.
Oh God!
So, I know, right? What a place to start.
Start at the bottom and work your way up.
No, hardly the bottom. Who's that up? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. Let's start naming names.
Oh goodness, we're gonna get in trouble.
Oh no, we're not gonna do that. No. Yeah, it's not that I love talking about 3D printing. I love getting together with people about 3D printing, but I'm such a it's not introvert. It's I don't know. It drains me being around people. And so I generally keep my interactions at arm's length so I can avoid. And I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to get way better at that. But that's what keeps me from going to cons and fairs and things like that. But I really want to go to those things because that's where you learn and that's where you grow. And what's the coolest thing you've seen at a convention, at a fair?
The coolest thing I ever saw was at a maker fair was barnacles.
So, and let's hope that we get the Jerry views on this one for that.
Yeah. No, the coolest thing is the interaction with the other YouTubers and meeting the people who watch your videos and are helped by them or inspired by them. That's, to me, that's the most important thing about the whole thing with YouTube is the fact that we can share our passion with them, and they in turn they feed off of it, and it creates more content down the road because then they want to get into it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's the visible supporters with the comments, and there's even more visible supporters with Patreon and things like that. But even just the people who you know that they're out there. Any one of your videos gets 100, 200, 500 views, and it's only got 5 comments. There's a lot of people who are just sitting back and enjoying what you see. And when you see those people in real life, and it's as cool for me as it is for them, you know. And I had a kid at a fair here, and this kid walks up to my booth where I had that display up and everything like that. And he's just the quietest kid and just smiling at me the whole time. Yeah. And I'm talking to his dad. And I was there to kind of like promote the local maker movement. And so I handed him my card and he said, "Oh, I know who you are." Actually, he knows who you are. And this little kid was just so pumped to see me and meet me, and I was like, "You know my stuff, you know what I do, dude. Let's sit. We got to take a selfie together, you know." And so it was this great connection moment, and I love those, and I love those every time that they happen, you know.
That is awesome.
Yeah. And he was this little kid. We've been talking. He made a variation of the Benchy.
Really?
Yeah, he took it and made it kind of look corally and stuff like that. And I'll have to show it to you sometime, and I need to print it out and put it in a video in the future. But he emailed it to me, and he said, I can't share this with anybody else because it's got a no derivative license on it. And I'm like going, dude, that's cool, man. It's cool.
Take the chance.
Well, I don't. No. I don't.
That's why they call him the professor.
Yeah. I don't want to encourage him to do something to upset people. But what I want to do is I want to just recognize that he's done this really cool thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do kind of want to hold this up as an example of, okay, I understand non-commercial. That makes sense. If somebody takes your stuff and makes money off of it, you're going to feel like you were left out. Get it. I understand attribution, but I don't understand non-derivative. Let people remix it, you know? Okay, I guess I kind of understand it, but overall, this community is grown by remixing. In fact, one of the coolest examples I can give you of remixing is that flute up here. So let me see if I can grab it. This is an instrument, a flute.
Wow.
Yeah. So the story behind this thing, it works.
That is amazing.
So I was up one night with insomnia. And it was
Usually it starts with either insomnia or I drink too much.
Yeah, well, and as I don't have that problem. Yeah, I was up with insomnia, and the idea came to my head that we could make a 3D printed recorder. There's nothing in a recorder that couldn't be 3D printed.
That's amazing.
So I pulled up pictures of a recorder, and I made something that looked like a recorder, and I did my best to guess at how the internals worked, but I didn't have a recorder to use. But I put it up on Thingiverse anyways. This was back a long time ago when you could put something up on Thingiverse and you didn't have to actually print it to get attention. I didn't have a 3D printer at the time, but I put this up on Thingiverse and it got somebody's attention and they printed it out and they said, dude, it doesn't work. And I said, well, dude, I kind of knew that wouldn't work. I think I said something about it. I'd love to, if you would be willing to print it out for me, I will redesign it and see if I can figure it out. And he said, okay, I'll even send you a recorder. And, you know, they were like $2 or $3 on, I didn't even realize how cheap they were, but he sent me a recorder. I dissected the thing. I learned about how these things are built and how the wind works and things like that. And I created the Windway and I made a recorder. Now, it was not this recorder. Once I had the Windway, I was like, I can make it do whatever shape I want. What shape would I like to do? So I put nice little flowers and a little face on there, and I made a little tree cap for it, and now it's a piece of art as well as a musical instrument.
That is simply amazing.
But it wouldn't have happened without the community being willing to help me out with it and remix it and redesign it and let me redesign it as well. So this is not my design. I was maybe the main designer on it, but it was the community that made this thing happen. So
that is what makes 3D printing so amazing.
that is what makes 3D printing so amazing, is the openness and the willingness to share and things like that. And I mean, I'm not opposed to making money off of your models. I'm not opposed to selling your 3D prints. I'm not opposed to any of that stuff. I just also feel at the same time that, and maybe I'm foolish to think that we could have it both ways, but I think we could have it both ways.
I think we can too.
Yeah. So let's hope for the future of 3D printing, right?
That's right. I want to thank you for sharing with me today.
Well,
thank you so much.
I think at this point, I want to record a video where I'm interviewing you.
Okay.
So people who are watching this video, come over to my channel and see the video that I'm all about to record with you.
That's cool. And I'll also put up here on the corner as well.
All right.
Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.
See you next time.
Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe. I sure appreciate it. You can do that by clicking on the link over here. Don't forget to ring the bell too. That way you'll be notified when a video comes out. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, please click on my Patreon page over here. You can support the channel from there. If you'd like to check out one of my other videos, please give these a shot. I think you're going to love them. Oh yeah, you're going to like them. Have a great day and take care. Bye.